this nation. OSBC brings you the news. News across the country.
A pleasant evening to you there, and you welcome to the news across the country. I am Adeniji Kende. National Industrial Court orders ASU to call off strike. Senate confirms Justice Olukayode Ariwola as the new CJN. OSBC Business News chronicles the issue of oil thefts on the nation's economy. 2 monarchs arraigned for impersonation in Ondo. Now the news in full. The National Industrial Court has ordered the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU to call off the ongoing industrial action. Delivering a ruling on the interlocutory injunction filed by the federal government, Justice Polycarp Haman restrained ASU from continuing with the industrial action pending the determination of the suit. Justice Polycarp, who is a vacation judge, ordered that the case filed be returned to the President of the Industrial Court for reassignment to another judge. This order comes a few hours after the National Association of Nigerian Students (NANS) threatened not to allow any political campaign hold across the country till students of public universities return to classrooms. In the meantime, the National Association of Nigerian Students has threatened not to allow any political campaign hold across the country till students of public universities return to classrooms. Chairman NANS National Task Force Ojo Olumide announced this at a press conference in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Field days to September 28, the official date for the candidate to kick off campaign as announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission. According to him, blocking of access to public roads and ports is just a warning threatened that if the government fails to conclude all the negotiation and agreement with ASU within the frame of 2 weeks, they will witness more protests and rallies all over the country. He added that the government will also witness the annoyance, anger, and frustration of Nigerian students who have been at home for the past 7 months. He stressed that the government has pushed so many Nigerian students into depression, saying that they can no longer bear the brunt from this avoidable crisis in the nation's public ivory towers again. Lagos State Police Command has deployed officers to guide the 3rd Milan Bridge to forestall a possible protest over the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU strike. Lagos State Police Command spokesman Benjamin Unyideyin made a statement while addressing newsmen. He explained that the operative led by DPO of Adeniji Adele, CSP Lanre Egbegbai, are keeping watch at both ends of the bridge. He said they will not allow any person or group of persons to deprive Lagosians of their right to freedom of movement. The police deployment followed the reported threat by the National Association of Nigerian Students (NANS) to bring traffic on the bridge to a halt. It will be recalled that the student had on Monday blocked the road leading to Murtala Muhammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. In another development, the police in Ondo State say they have arrested 2 35-year-old serial kidnappers, Olaoye Oluwatosin and Taiwo Olamide. Police spokesperson SP Fumelayo Odunlami paraded the duo before newsmen in Akure. The suspect allegedly kidnapped 3 persons in Ofosu, Idari local government area of Ondo State, between 2021 and 2022. Odunlami said they kidnapped one Mrs. Fola Shade Akinloye from a shop at Ofosu on August 28 using an ash-colored Toyota Camry car with registration number AKD 797AP. During investigation, it was discovered that the suspects were also responsible for the kidnapping of one Mrs. Fola Shade Akinshelure on 13th of July 2021 and that of Miss Stella Stephen on March 9, 2022. They all confessed to committing the crimes while the victims were rescued unhurt. Similarly, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC has denied beaming its anti-corruption searchlight on the presiding justice of the Court of Appeal, Kano Division, Honorable Justice Ita Mbamba. EFCC head media and publicity Wilson Wujaren disclosed this in a statement dismissing some media reports that the judge is under investigation. He restated that Honorable Justice Itam Bamba is not under any investigation by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC. Wujaren explained that the commission holds the judiciary in optimum respect and will do nothing to embarrass any officer of the court. He, however, admitted that operatives of the agency visited the residence of the judge located on Sheikh Yusuf Adam Games Street off Race Cross Road, Nasarawa Government Reservation Area, Kano. According to Wujaren, the visits on a property verification exercise are not to probe Justice Mbamba. The Senate has confirmed the nomination of Justice Olukayode Ariwola as the new Chief Justice of Nigeria CJN. The development was sequel to a screening by the Committee of the Whole at the Senate chambers today. During the screening exercise, Justice Ariwola responded to questions posed to him by the senators. The acting CJN Ariwola and all justices of the Supreme Court, President of the Court of Appeal, President of the Federal High Court, President of the National Industrial Court, and Secretary of the National Judicial Council had earlier walked into the chambers and took their seats. The delegation was led by the Special Advisor to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senator Babajide Omowurare. This is the news across the country, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Voice of the West. Now, amid this message. Assist the government of the day in all your endeavors. In it lies your development. Nigeria has been facing the issue of oil theft, which is having negative impact on the nation's economy in no small measure. Today on Business News, what preventive measure should the government take to curb the dastardly act? Sit back as Olaide Adegberu feeds you with relative solutions from our respondents. Her report.
Oil theft is constituted as illegal appropriation of refined crude oil, and of such, the Nigerian Oil Auditing Agency indicated that in 2019, the country lost 42.25 million barrels of crude oil to oil theft, valued at $2.77 billion. Report has it that Nigeria loses $700 million monthly to pipeline vandalization, which has also impacted negatively on gas supply, crude oil production, refineries, according to the General Manager of National Petroleum Investment Management Services, Ma Balawunti. Mr. Balawunti once disclosed that the number of barrels stolen daily is very huge, that is causing low production of crude oil, refinery downtimes, interruption of distribution, and also interrupted gas supply. How can this act be curbed? In his opinion, a financial expert, Dr. Yinka Anju, said that government should allow modular refineries. This, he said, will give adequate reports of production, eradicate fraud, and oil theft.
We have to try and build modular refineries. We have to allow states to have their own refineries. Maybe they'll start modular form. If they have it, they are going to protect it because they will see it as their own. As it is now, people are seeing it as federal government own.
Dr. Andrews advised that there should be technological monitoring of the pipelines, urging the federal government to deploy military operatives to watch over them.
There should be monitoring. If possible, high-tech, that is technological monitoring of the pipe. So if anybody tampers with it, they will know immediately. We have to find a way of making sure that our military operatives monitor the pipeline as much as they could. And most importantly, we have to do moral suasion. So make sure that we talk to the people around that place to stop killing the people because it's affecting our commonwealth. And another one, on the other side that we do is that we make sure that we deal decisively with those that are caught doing that, including, if possible, jail, or we should make sure that they are summarily dealt with by making sure that they fire anybody that is caught doing that. I mean, firearms by the government. If these are not done, this will continue.
He stressed that every culprit caught in the act must always be brought to book and be dealt with accordingly. Olaide Adegbenro, OSBC News.
In the meantime, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority says it will consider a request for the supply of fuel to fishermen in the Bakassi local government area of Cross River State. The regional coordinator of IMDRA South-South, Mr. George Eneita, stated this when the chairman of Bakassi local government area, Mr. Iyadim, led a delegation of the fishermen to his office. Mr. Eneta stated that he would write a proposal to the management of Indra South with a view to bringing all critical stakeholders to deliberate on the matter. According to him, the cross-border smuggling had necessitated the government to prohibit fuel stations located about 25 kilometers to the border from lifting petroleum products. He said the policy is a temporal remedial measure to curb cross-border smuggling. Mr. Eneta added that their source of livelihood was fishing, hence the fishermen needed fuel to power their boats. According to him, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation floating stations, which was supposed to serve the coastal communities, has not been operational for years now. The Olofun of Irele, Prince Ademola Idowu, and the Olu of Igodon Lisa, Prince Adeyemi Akinde, have been arraigned before an Akure magistrate court for illegally parading themselves as traditional rulers. The court had last week instructed the State Commissioner of Police, Oyediran Oyeyemi, to arrest both individuals and present them at the next court session. They were docked following a lawsuit brought before the court by Sir Charles Titiloye, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice. The two traditional chiefs were accused in the lawsuits of violating Section 516 of the Ondo State Criminal Code by taking the chieftaincy titles of Olofun of Irele and Olu of Igodon Lisha without authorization. Also arrested were community chiefs who were allegedly in charge of elevation to Olofun of Irele and the Olu of Igodon. 2 counts of conspiracy and unauthorized installation of a monarch were brought against the defendants, who pleaded not guilty to the allegations. The Commissioner for Justice pleaded for more time to look into the case and let the police put things in order in that areas. The President, Christ Apostolic Church, Supreme Council, Nigeria and Overseas, Pastor Henry Ojo, has implored clerics to be steadfast in prayers that will further strengthen the unity of the country. Pastor Ojo gave the advice at this year's Christ Apostolic Church Pastors Conference and Convention held at the Alashekwe Prayer Mountain, Ikire. Said Adeboje has the details.
For several hours, the Alashekwe Prayer Mountain Ikire was alive as members of the Supreme Council and other ministers of God across the country and overseas came to be part of the 2022 Conference and Convention. Delivering his address at the Conference and Convention tagged Triumph and themed The Secrets of God's Own Army, the President, Christ Apostolic Church, Supreme Council, Nigeria and Overseas, Pastor Henry Ojo, explained the duties of the church to include spiritual involvement in actions that will prepare peace and unity in the country. Pastor Ojo berated the spread of insecurity and the challenges posed by the ASU strike, implored stakeholders to take bold steps that will solve the challenges without further delay, maintaining that the theme of the conference and convention, The Secrets of God's Own Army, was carefully chosen. The President, Christ Apostolic Church, Supreme Council, Nigeria and Overseas, said that honesty, transparency, and the love for peace are exemplary factors that distinguishes the God's Own Army. According to him, the church has inaugurated a parliament to look into certain issues that will further protect the church in God's limelight. Pastor Ojo, who highlighted the lofty achievement of the church, implored individuals to further support the job of evangelism physically, financially, and spiritually. On the lingering crisis within the Christ Apostolic Church, Pastor Ojo expressed conviction that all imbroglio will soon be rested with the assistance of God and the Holy Spirit. In the meantime, the convention will climax on Sunday with a Thanksgiving service. Said Adeboje, OSBC News.
The World Athletics has ratified the 12.12 second world record set by Tobi Amusan at the World Athletics Championships. Adeyemi Aboderin has details on the sports segment.
The 12.12 seconds world record set by Commonwealth and world champion Tobi Amusan at the World Championship in USA has been officially ratified by the World Athletics. The cheering news from Monaco, headquarters of the World Athletics, was given pride of place at the official website of the athletics ruling body. According to World Athletics, Amusan's 12.12 seconds feat in the women's 100 meters hurdles semi-finals in Eugene, Oregon on July 24 this year is now officially in the record book. Amusan, after clocking an African record of 12.40 seconds in the 100 meters hurdles heat, the world was put on notice that the 25-year-old was capable of something special. The next day, she ran 12.12 seconds in the semi-finals to improve the world record of 12.20 seconds that had been set by USA's Kendra Harrison in London in 2016. Meanwhile, ahead of Tuesday's international friendly against the Desert Foxes of Algeria, the Super Eagles have held their first training session. 18 players took part in the exercise under the supervision of head coach Jose Pesero. 3 more players arrived in camp on Tuesday night after the training to increase the number to 23, as 3 more players are still being expected to hit the camp before the game. The team camp had opened on Monday. In the meantime, injured Super Eagles hitman Victor Osimhen is expected back in action for Napoli on October 4 in Amsterdam, Netherlands, in the UEFA Champions League encounter against Ajax. The Nigerian international striker is currently out with injury sustained last month during the 4-1 thrashing of Liverpool at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium in the Champions League. Osimhen has started 5 Serie A games for Napoli this season, scoring 2 goals and assisting once. African soccer ruling body CAF has increased the cash prize winners of both CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation Cup. Previous winners of the CAF Champions League earned $12.5 million, while winners of the CAF Confederation Cup collected $6.375 million. In the new update from the CAF headquarters in Cairo, Egypt, new winner of the CAF Champions League will earn $17.6 million, while winner of the CAF Confederation Cup will get $9.9 million. The 2 trophies are presently in Morocco with Wydad Athletic Casablanca, who won Champions League title last year, while RS Berkane emerged winner of the CAF Confederation Cup. 3 Nigerian clubs, Rivers United, Plateau United, and Kwara United, are still in contention for the African titles. Boxer Deontay Wilder has intentionally avoided an offer to fight Anthony Joshua in order to concentrate on his upcoming fight against Robert Elenius. Wilder returns for the first time since his consecutive knockout losses to Tyson Fury, when he fight former sparring partner Elenius on October 15. Deontay Wilder considered retiring from boxing after losing twice to Fury, but insisted his job is not done in the heavyweight division as he looks to become 2-time champion. Sport Update returns tomorrow. My name is Adeyemi Abode.
And now to end the news across the country, here again at the major point. The National Industrial Court has ordered the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU) to call off the ongoing industrial action. The Senate has confirmed the nomination of Justice Olukayode Ariwola as the new Chief Justice of Nigeria. OSBC Business News Today chronicled the impact of oil theft on the nation's economy. The stakeholders call on the federal government to look holistically into the dastardly heart and bring the culprits to book. The Olofun of Irele, Prince Ademola Idowu, and the Olu of Igandan Lisha, Prince Adeyemi Akinde, have been arraigned before an Akure Magistrate Court for illegally parading themselves as traditional rulers in their various communities. And that was the news across the country, edited by Nathaniel Oyegoke and delivered by Adeniyi Kende. For more about us, you can visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks so much for listening to the news across the country. Good evening.